Oh, Lord. Okay. I need serious help from the Christian community right now. I need prayers onto Jason because he's being extremely dangerous and increasingly violent lately.
Violent? Oh, yeah.
He's been smacking me more, and I just discovered that he's been looking at this fake rape porn lately. Just discovered that he's been looking at this fake. He's been smacking me more, and I'm extremely dangerous and increasingly violent lately. He's been smacking me more, and has a serious freaking demon in him, this violent demon, and I've been trying to deal with it for a really long time, and I can't do it anymore. I need the church.
The church ain't
I
never
need
gonna
Yeshua to help
The
this
church
man.
ain't
Because
ever
I've been spending
gonna
3
be there
years
for you, bitch.
fighting this man's demons for him and trying to heal him of whatever is hurting him. He's addicted to really bad stuff, and he needs mental help, and I keep telling him he needs mental help, and he's not getting the mental help. Now me, I am on full board of getting any mental help that I need. But right now, I need the Christian community to help me either get me out of this situation with me and my children, or help this man get the help that he needs. But I'm tired of playing games with people. I'm tired of pretending that this stuff isn't real. I need help. Because I love this man dearly. I've always loved this man, and I've always seek to get this man help.
Shanny, cut this shit.
And I don't know what to do anymore. Because me as a wife can't help this man if he's literally looking up rape porn and then becoming violent on me.
If y'all motherfuckers don't move. Oh, so it's like that? So it's like that, okay.
And I wish no harm on him. I want him to get help, but he's not getting help, and a bunch of people is enabling him in this violent streak in his life. No, I don't want him arrested or in trouble with anything. I want him to get the therapy that he needs, okay? Because this is a mental disorder. This isn't him being harmful or anything on purpose. This is him needing serious help. And I need the Christian community to pray for me or help me get out of this situation. I don't know. I just need help because I love this man and I want him to get better. But I can't do it if he's constantly has violence on his mind. I can't help him if he's just constantly thinking, oh my God, I'm thinking about raping these fucking women, these fake fucking women. It's so disgusting.
Shut up, Shanny.
And he says he doesn't care that I see it. He says he doesn't care. And I don't know what to do anymore. I don't have anyone in my life. I'm scared. I feel trapped. I feel alone. And I don't have anyone in my life. So if I have to bring it online, I will. Because I don't have anyone. I don't have friends to talk to. I don't got places to go. All I want is my husband back. All I want is love from him again. He's been disappearing at the house.
Shanny, ain't nobody.
Consistently lately. And coming back like he hates me. And he says it's been going on for a month. Yeah, it has been going on for a month. But I'm really worried about him.
I know what he's here.
I'm really worried about him. And I He needs a therapist. I need people to stop enabling this man to violence. Because you're not helping him. You're harming him. He needs help.
Shanny, you sit back.
He needed help back in May. And I got arrested instead. He needed help. Back when I first met him, he needed help. But there's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can take on. I don't care if I look like a bad guy. I don't care. I want that man to get help. I don't care if he leaves me even. I want him to get help. I love him. I love him. I love that man so much, and I'm losing him. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do. This is all in his head. It's all in his head. I cleaned up my own puke. I can't help him. He doesn't want to have anything to do with me. How do you help someone who wants nothing to do with you? I'm not losing him because of my actions. I'm worried about him, and that's the biggest thing that I've been telling him. Is I'm worried about him. He's yelling and screaming and being angry a lot, and now he's looking at this rape porn. He's obsessing on violence. He did this when we first got together too. He goes through these periods where he obsesses on violence, and he becomes violent. And he becomes increasingly agitated and angry. And he has these, like, delusions in his head that I don't care about him, I don't love him, and I love him. And this is my last resort of loving him. Because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do to console this man. I don't know what to do to love this man. I don't know whether to help him in his anger. I don't care if my meal ticket is over. That's not what this is about. I want my man happy. I don't want him obsessing about violence and hurting people and hurting women. You know how horrifying it is to live with a man who looks at rape porn? It's horrifying! I don't care if he doesn't want me after this. I want this man to have help. I love him. You cannot love someone you disrespect so much. I know he doesn't love me, but I love him. I drove 8,000 miles for that man. I took care of him when no one would take care of him. I put up nights of him threatening me and pouring alcohol down the sink. And I'm told that I'm abusive for trying to help someone. I love this man so much. I love this man so much. I don't know what to do anymore. People are just so angry and hateful nowadays. There's no love in man's heart anymore for their fellow man. It's just like how the Bible said it would happen. And I'm sitting here with all the love in my heart. And no one sees it. They think they think that I think like them. They think I'm violent and I'm manipulative and I'm abusive, and all I want is peace. All I want is love. All I want is no name calling, no yelling, no harm. I want peace, man, and there's nothing I can do to appease this man. He's just gonna automatically think I'm the enemy. And I guess that's what I am to him, is I'm his enemy. I love him so much.
Love a character.
Yeah, he can make his videos without interference. That's fine. He can do whatever he wants. You know, I don't know how to show this man any more love than I have. I don't know how to show him that I actually care. I get name called, I get yelled at, and I'm the bad guy. And this is something that I have lived with my whole entire life, of people calling me bad names, treating me like shit, and then I'm just gonna have to accept that I'm a bad guy. So I'm a bad guy, okay? If that brings peace to people, I'm the bad guy. I'll be like Jesus. I'll be like that. I'll be the bad guy. I'll take all the sin of mankind onto the world just to heal you guys. Because you don't know what you're doing. You really don't know what you're doing. Because you're looking at someone that's innocent, that loves you, that cares for you. And you're just breaking them in half, man. It's so sad how this world has turned out to be. I'm just gonna keep preaching. I'm just gonna keep preaching God, man. Cause God's all I got at this moment, man. I don't got anyone else. Everyone's gone fucking satanic. Everyone's gone in this point where everyone's out to get them. And because they think everyone's out to get them, they're out pointing fingers and calling everyone names. And I don't want to interact like that anymore. Like yesterday, I was so inappropriate yesterday and so angry. And I'm so ashamed of myself for being so angry and acting so inappropriately. Because I know I'm very weak right now. I know I'm emotionally weak. I know my marriage is falling apart. There's nothing I can do because he's completely stopped loving me. And I know it's not my fault because I've just always been the way I've always been. I haven't changed a damn lick. So if his mind has to go that way, and he has to go down the way of lust and adultery, fine, but I'm not going to engage in that. You know, I want to be loved. I want to truly be loved by someone. I want to truly have someone just care what I say. But maybe that's not something I need anymore. Maybe I'm at that stage of BPD where it's time to just cut all ties with human beings, because human beings seem to not understand where I'm coming from or how I'm feeling. And I don't want to be a bother to anyone about how I feel. But at the same time, I want to express myself. You know, I'm not responsible for what you guys say to me. I'm not responsible for your hatred you put on me. That is not my fault. That is not my doing. That is your doing. I am not responsible for it. I am responsible for my own words and what I say. And how you express yourself is on you, not me. And I feel bad about how you're expressing yourself toward me, because it's nothing but vitriol, hate, and trying to make me look like something I'm not. And you led that man to believe I am something that I'm not. Like you did with Chris. Like you did with Chris. And you're gonna get what you want so you can have your little fucking laughs and I can be fucking miserable. And I don't have bad behavior. My voice is calm. I'm not calling anyone names. I am saying what I feel. There is nothing wrong with my behavior at all. Never. I can say, yesterday, there was a problem with my behavior because I was so miserable that no one would listen to me or hear me. I am constantly being told to shut up and not to be listened to. Thank you, CJ. How is supporting Rev hatred? It's not. I love him. I need this man to get help. You need to let that man find a good woman and leave him alone. Is that what you've been telling him, to go get another woman? Instead of saving a marriage and doing the Christian thing? Like, this is what he's doing. He's listening to atheists. And I need the Christians out there to pray that this man stops listening to these people and their wickedness. For the longest time, they tried to make me out to be a demon, and I'm not. I'm a woman of God, and I love Jesus Christ with all my heart and soul. They're mad that I preach that they're gonna go to hell and burn. And how dare you, Baby Jane, as a Catholic, Baby Jane, try to ruin a marriage. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself, Baby Jane. As a Catholic, look at all this abuse you're putting out on me. Look at that. Jason needs help. That's all I'm asking. That's not abusive. He's looking at violent stuff. And he's doing the violence onto me. And I need help, and no one's listening. It's scary. I'm scared. I'm scared. And I have no one to help me or listen to me. I want Jesus so bad. I need a Christian. I need a believer in Christ. I really do. I need a believer in Christ. To listen to me without this fucking stupid judgment. You guys are the worst human beings alive. I need someone. I need someone. I need someone. What is the feedback other than it's all my fault? Well, what feedback is that? If it's all my fault? It's my fault that man is looking at violent porn. It's my fault that he's not touching me anymore, other than for violence. It's my fault.
Doesn't that, like, bother you?
Yeah, that's why I said I want to try it myself. Hospital to get mental health. Why do you think I said that?
You want to do that to me?
No, and it's not great that I like. While I like the great porn, hentai is a game for free. I like that. But it's not because it's great. I know, but I have to. Because my mental state.
Then go to therapy like that. Do you want me to make home for
Leave me
you?
alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I just wanted to let the moments know me and trying to fight shit. But Well, it's better than one. That's
So you do want to rape me?
no. Bullshit.
Or do you want to rape someone else?
No, I don't want to rape at all. You're not, that's how my graph works.
Well, it's what you said.
Well, I can bring up what?
Damn well, treat her better than me. When's the last time you made me feel go, aww? Yeah.
Girlfriend. Damn.
Dude, that's awesome pizza. Yeah, I know. He did it yesterday, too. And him running away like he did makes him even look guiltier.
Hell, Gail.
It does. Why are you going in there? Oh.
She's over here sitting all high and mighty and smug. Just wait, girl. He about ready to wipe that smile right off your face. Just wait for it.
You're being attacked by people pointing shit out that women don't like that? Oh. Oh, it's that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
What the hell, Shanny?
No, honey. I didn't say that. It's the fact that you went in detail like you fell in love with her. Why am I insane? How? How is it insane?
Who are you?
You don't have to talk to me about it, though, and act like you've all flustered.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sorry that I probably said.
Like, holy shit.
I'm sorry.
My husband did that to me once, and ever since I feel ugly to him. Yeah, I know, it does make you feel ugly, and you're not good enough.
But anyway.
How is it insane and stupid?
Oh my God, there's other hot people in the world. It doesn't mean you're less hot. You're not.
I ain't no fitness model.
No.
You can't see that?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you're not hot.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you're not hot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the show now is no longer about this, it's about this.
You know, you always see people like this, with their teeth like this, that stay drinking green drinks like Mountain Dew, Monster, anything, and it's always green. Have you noticed that? It makes their teeth rotted and green look. I don't know. I know soda in general does, but it's always people with teeth like this that be sucking on Mountain Dews and Monsters.
I want to talk about the liver king, but we got to get over this problem.
I'm sorry I mentioned anything about the person. Honestly, the reason I brought it up is because of the TikTok thing. I thought that would be, you know, I never met a TikTok person.
Yeah, and she was definitely flaunting herself to you.
Why would Shanny sit there and put that on that woman? Just trying to deliver their groceries, saying she was flaunting herself to Jason? That is so embarrassing. I hope she doesn't find your channel and see this shit, because that is so messed up for you to sit there and accuse a stranger flaunting herself only because she delivered the groceries. Shame on you guys. That's embarrassing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was seeing how she was flirting with you. I heard it. You could even see it on camera, my face, outside. Dude, you guys saw my face when he went outside.
Well, how is it my fault if she's flirting with me? How is it my fault?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Obviously, you were flirting back if you were so taken aback by her.
Zero flirting.
Uh-huh.
On your side.
Mm-hmm.
Telling me what you did for a
Mm-hmm.
living aside from DoorDash.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
This is a flash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not dealing with it over yet.
Yeah, Shanny.
There's no flirting, nothing. She was telling me what you did.
Well, I shouldn't have spoke up about that shit.
Yeah, I know. The people are really insecure.
Did she just start talking about being a fitness influencer randomly?
No, she asked about the mukbang thing, and I said, no, we're not doing a mukbang right now. But I said, well, the channel Shanny for Christ.
Oh, he'll never be nicer to me. He'll always treat other women better looking than me. Way better than me.
Why are you listening?
Good question.
Get out then. Leave. Get out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you feel shitty with me, leave.
Wow.
Yeah, smartass. Why don't you get out? You sitting here acting like that's your house. It ain't your house. See how fast you can be thrown out at any time? Yeah, I mean, legally, she'd probably have to be evicted, but still, look how fast that smug-ass smile got off her face, though. Ain't so funny now, huh, Shanny? Why don't you just get out? Because obviously, that's what he wants. It's so easy for him to just tell you that because it's what he wants. But, you know, it won't happen. But we all know, too, she's going to manipulate her way back into where he's not wanting to throw her out. But he does. He wants her out. He's tired of coming through that door from walking to go get smoked and seeing her big ass still sitting in the same spot that she's been sitting in for years. She can't even get up and go grab the DoorDash groceries from the door. You don't move at all, Shanny, not at all, not even just to get up and grab your groceries since you're so insecure about who's bringing your food by. Like, this woman won't move, walk, or anything to save her life. He's tired of seeing what he do, woman. You are like some big, dirty pile of laundry sitting there. What man wants to see that every day? I don't care how ugly the man is. You know, he is gonna stray if this is what you look like 24/7. Wow. You're being very I know, you gotta go and Instagram her and talk to her on the Twitter. Jason, all you need to do is sneak on over to that courthouse and file an emergency eviction. They'll have her out in 5 days. Why keep making each other miserable? You need to stop worrying about where she's gonna go. Who cares? That's her problem. Get her out, clean that house, and have peace. Maybe she'll go have peace somewhere. She'll figure it out. How am I an asshole? You have a Twitter. And you have a Facebook. Oh, I guess he has a date with this chick. How embarrassing. I know I keep saying that, but he gave the lady his channel name, apparently. And she's over here sitting there accusing them of messaging each other already and having a date. Girl, get the fuck out. Get out of that house. I can't wait for the day for you to run and go live while you're being thrown out. I can't wait. It's gonna be great. Am I? How? How? I should watch his phone. No, I don't.
All of our accounts are connected. I have zero privacy, none.
Dang.
Everything I do.
Yeah, that's right. She's in the view of everything. She picked the perfect spot to just sit in for years. She got the view of the door, the front door, the back door, the kitchen, the bathroom, the stairs. He can't get away with nothing. He can't sneak nothing. He can't sneak food, nothing. She's gonna sit there and call him out and make him feel like crap for it. Yeah, she watches everything. That's why she doesn't even walk to the bathroom.
Sneaky.
She wants to make sure he ain't touching nothing without her.
You know that.
You're not treating me right. I know he always tells me to go.
Well, if he's always telling you to go, what does that tell you? He does want you out, but you keep manipulating him into feeling bad, into keeping you there. We all see it. He wants you out of the house, Shanny. But he knows what to do if he really wanted you out, so... He says it probably because he knows she ain't got nowhere to go, so he just says it to scare her. I don't know what it is, but I think it is that he really wants her out.
You know? It's fine. I've never, ever been really appreciated by anyone. So it's fine.
And also, too, if anybody sees this and kind of feels bad for her, don't donate money to her to get her out of there. She ain't gonna leave, okay? Because apparently someone tried to give them a bunch of money to get out of there because he did this to her before, and she didn't. She bought them all new phones and laptops and pretending like she left, but she was there the whole time. So don't feel bad. Don't give her money. She does not want to leave. She wants to be there. He doesn't want her there, but she wants to be there. So
Let's go.
You really
Let's go.
make me feel really low sometimes.
Because we're leaving, we're going to Austin Post, my very last point.
That we're going to kick Joe Rogan down?
The wheel shut it. Oh, it's my speech justice fest.
Why don't you listen to your own words again?
this isn't just two YouTubers throwing shade on Twitter. I'm not sure if I should be playing the rest of this part because they just let the other video play and play and play without pausing and talking about it, whatever. So I'm going to end mine here. You guys can watch the rest of the fight on their channel. But she had the video playing for the longest time in the background while they were going at it back and forth, and it was really annoying. So anyways, I will see y'all later.
I beseech my colleagues, I will read any book, any magazine, any speech you've given that you want me to read. Read this report and come back and tell me if you think Donald Trump did the right thing in converting the White House into a for-profit operation. No other president in American history has come anywhere close. And you ask why he's so determined to stay in office that he would unleash violence against his own vice president, the brother of your colleague, of our colleague. Why would he do that? It's because it was a money-making operation, and it was a great business grip for a guy who went bankrupt several times. And this guy, partisan loyalty, you're going to stick with him. I don't even know why you stick with him. He was a Democrat longer than he was a Republican. He wanted to run for president on the Reform Party. You guys have been taken over by an absolute con man, and now you're acting like members of a religious cult who don't even remember how you got in the first place.
That was Jamie Raskin at his absolute best, and I'm proud to be joined right now by Jamie Raskin to talk about an issue that you, Congressman, are very clearly and rightfully so focused on as it relates to Donald Trump. This is episode 4 of what has instantly become a very successful series called Class, with Jamie Raskin, where the congressman debunks right-wing constitutional fallacies and fever dreams. And today he's going to do exactly that as he discusses today's constitutional fallacy, this notion that the emoluments clause doesn't stop the president from taking foreign government payments if he declines his official salary and donates what he deems to be profits to the United States Treasury. Congressman.
Delighted to be with you, Brian, and I've been out on the road campaigning. I've been to a total of 20 states now. I just got back from New Jersey, where I was with my friend Mikey Sherrill and Billy Pastrell, and Sue Altman is a great new candidate. And everywhere I went, everybody was talking to me about our constitutional law class. So I'm thrilled that people are engaging with it, and they tell me they're watching the whole thing. And so that's awesome. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 4. I'm going to repeat the fallacy that Brian just invoked. The way I'm framing it is that the Foreign Emoluments Clause does not stop the president from taking foreign government payments so long as he declines to accept his official salary and donate what he needs to the profits of these foreign government emoluments to the United States Treasury. Let's see how well this common right-wing fallacy, promoted actively by Donald Trump and his sons and the Trump family and the Trump businesses, actually squares with the language and the proper interpretation of the Constitution. So, step back for a moment and let's just look at what the emoluments clauses are all about. Okay, there's two of them. There's the domestic emoluments clause, and then there's the foreign. And we'll be dealing primarily with the foreign, but keep in mind the domestic emoluments clause because it's very important. It's really about the president's salary. And the meaning of the domestic emoluments clause is the president gets a salary from the United States government, which is fixed by law, and which cannot be varied by Congress during the course of the president's term, and the president can get no other money from federal government agencies or departments or from a particular state. Let's just look at the specific terms of Article 2, Section 1, Clause 7 of the Constitution. It says, the president shall at stated times receive for his services a compensation which shall neither be increased nor diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected, and he shall not receive within that period any other emolument, which just means a payment, a benefit, an advantage of any kind, from the United States or from any state. So, let's think about that in the context of the creation of the Constitution and the American Revolution. Our forebears rebelled against a king, a monarch. And in a monarchy, the finances of the king are merged with the finances of the state. In other words, if there's money that is in the royal treasury, that money is available both to the king as a person for whatever purposes he might want to use, and then also for the purposes of the nation. It's mixed together. L'état c'est moi. The state is me. And that was the vision of the monarchy. Now, what we said, what our constitutional founders said in Article 2, Section 1, Clause 7, is that the president is confined to a salary, to one fixed payment in office. You see how that's a radical break from monarchy. It means that one king and one queen and one royal family cannot plunder the people, but rather is a servant of the people and is paid for it fairly, because in a democracy everybody should be paid for their work, including the president. But that doesn't mean that gives them a call on all of the resources of the state for their personal desires and whims. Okay, now let's flip over to the foreign emoluments clause, because you'll see how they're complementary. The framers didn't want the president to be able to plunder the resources of the people. It belongs to the people. But then they worried about this problem. Well, if the president is limited to a salary, and all of history has told us that kings have unlimited avarice and greed, what will stop them from going to foreign governments and foreign kings and princes and collecting money from them and selling out the people of the United States? Right? You see the problem there? They thought that the redeeming virtue of having a king is the king would at least be loyal to the country, because the finances of the country were mixed with the finances of the king. But once you put the president on a salary and they're just having that fixed finite compensation, at that point they might start looking abroad and making deals with foreign kings and princes and governments and selling out the people of the country. So how to guarantee that they would maintain their fiduciary duty, their zealous affection and loyalty to the people? Well, here's the Foreign Emoluments Clause. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States. And no person holding any office of profit or trust under the United States shall, without the consent of the Congress, accept of any present, emolument, office, or title of any kind whatever from any king, prince, or foreign state. The language of it is categorical, sweeping, absolute, unqualified. They did not want presidents or members of Congress or appointed officials, anybody occupying any office of profit or trust in the United States, collecting money from the foreign monarchies or the foreign governments. Okay, now, for more than 2 centuries, we basically have not had a problem with the Foreign Emoluments Clause. Think of it like almost like a wall of separation, like the wall of separation we've talked about in terms of the Establishment Clause between church and state. This is a wall of separation between the personal finances of the President of the United States and other federal officials and foreign government money. You just can't touch it. And it is the fear of contamination of American domestic politics and government by foreign influence and foreign subversion that required this wall to be built in the Foreign Emoluments Clause. And so, for more than 2 centuries, every president has not gone anywhere near trespassing on that line between personal finances and foreign government money. Some presidents have even steered so far away from it when there's not been a potential violation of the letter of the Foreign Emoluments Clause, but the potential violation of the spirit of it, they've even steered away. President Kennedy famously was offered Irish citizenship because the people of Ireland loved him so much, and he declined it because he thought that this could offend the spirit of the Foreign Emoluments Clause. You'll remember that President Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize, and although there was a ruling by his Ethics Council, and I believe by the Department of Justice, that he could accept the money, it was more than $1 million, because it was not actually being offered by the Swedish government, but by an independent private foundation which runs the Nobel Prizes. Obama still felt that it was too close to accepting a foreign government emolument, and although he accepted the award, he did not accept any of the money. It was given away immediately to charity, and he thought that that was the best way of dealing with the problem. But in the course of our history, there are presidents who've been given small tokens or gifts who have always reported it to Congress and asked whether or not they could keep it. I'll give you an example from our great 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, who was given, in the middle of the Civil War, in 1862, beautiful elephant tusks by the King of Siam. And Honest Abe wanted to keep them, and so he petitioned Congress. He said he'd like to keep these elephant tusks, and Congress basically said, you're doing a great job in the Civil War, President Lincoln, but no, you can't keep them. Please turn them over to the Department of State, I believe. And so he did. So basically what we have is a fastidious attention to the Foreign Government Emoluments Clause. Nobody has come close to violating it until we reached the last president, Donald Trump. Now, when Donald Trump was sworn into office in January of 2017, there was tremendous conversation, controversy, consternation among the ethics scholars. He had more than 500 different businesses all over the world in hotel, hospitality, golf courses, different kinds of trademark businesses and so on. And the ethics advisors were telling him that he could not accept any money from foreign governments in this process, and the smart thing to do would be to divest himself completely, sell his interest in any of the businesses at all, if there was an intention to keep doing commerce with foreign governments. But Trump basically did the reverse. He said he was going to keep all of his businesses going. He would not divest from any of them. He would not even place them in a blind trust. And they began aggressively courting foreign government business for the hotels and the golf courses and the various hospitality enterprises. In other words, he expanded his interaction with them, and his only concessions were to say he would put his 2 adult sons in day-to-day charge of the businesses, day-to-day charge, suggesting that not only would Trump continue to derive the value and the benefit and own these businesses, but he would be overseeing it. And of course, he continued to do that and continued to aggressively hustle business and promote his great hotels, the greatest hotels in the world, and his golf courses, the greatest golf courses in the world, and so on. Okay, so that set him up for a very serious problem, which is a head-on collision with the Foreign Government Emoluments Clause. There's a separate problem that I at least want to invoke here, which was he also had various federal government agencies, like the Secret Service and the Commerce Department, the Department of Defense, patronizing his hotels and golf courses and businesses and paying them for various stays and various kinds of events. That obviously collides with the Domestic Emoluments Clause. But that's a separate problem. In some sense, it's worse because there's not even the possibility under the Domestic Emoluments Clause of getting congressional permission and authorization for doing it. At least under the Foreign Emoluments Clause, there is this possible way of cleansing and rehabilitating these deals. But on the foreign emoluments side, Donald Trump never once came to Congress and asked for permission. Now, I'm not going to have time to go into all of it, but I will recommend to you very highly the staff report that was prepared in the Committee on Oversight and Accountability, where I'm the ranking member, called White House for Sale: How Princes, Prime Ministers, and Premiers Paid Off President Trump. And what we found was that Donald Trump had collected nearly $8 million in documented and documentable payments from foreign governments, the leading governments being China and Saudi Arabia, but we found dozens of cases of governments spending hundreds of thousands of dollars at various hotels, in some cases without even staying at the hotel, just basically depositing the money, and all of that was a dramatic increase over what had taken place before. And of course, Trump purchased the Trump International Hotel in Washington shortly before becoming president and violated there not just the Foreign Emoluments Clause with all the money coming in from foreign governments, but also the lease that was written, which said that no government official could collect any benefit or revenue from the lease of the old post office building, which became the Trump International Hotel in Washington, which I call the Washington Emolument, because its principal function was to collect emoluments and payments from these foreign governments. All right, so you have the general picture there. Now, in defense of everything that happened, the position taken by the Trump family in those cases, the position taken by the Trump family after the release of the Democrats Oversight Committee report was simple. And there were two basic claims, and these are the ones that I want to address today. And one is that, well, it's not a problem for the president to collect money from kings, princes, and foreign states, so long as the president is not taking his presidential salary And then, as long as the president decides to surrender the profits to the government of his commercial transactions with kings, princes, and foreign states. I'll start with this. There's nothing in the Foreign Government Emoluments Clause which says that it's okay to accept presents and emoluments, payments of any kind from a king, prince, or foreign state, as long as the president gives up his salary. So it departs dramatically from the text of the Constitution, which is absolute and all-encompassing and inclusive. It doesn't say anything about it. So they're just finger painting on the Constitution at that point. They're deciding to add a little PS, a little asterisk. Oh, but none of this applies if you give up your presidential salary. And if you look at the domestic emoluments clause, we can see how wrong this principle is, because the design of the constitutional framers was that your presidential salary is the only thing you're allowed to accept. It's not as if the framers thought it would be just peachy keen for you to give up your salary from the American people as long as you, or in return for going out and collecting your money from the Prince of Saudi Arabia, or the communist bureaucrats in China, or some other king or queen. That cuts completely against the constitutional design. The framers wanted for there to be an exclusive fiduciary obligation to the people of America, not to the people of another country, not to foreign spies, which were crawling at the time of the American Revolution. Lots of governments were trying to get their claws into the new American government. So the framers understood that, but they wanted a president who was going to exhibit nothing but absolute and exclusive fiduciary loyalty to the people of the country. So it cuts against the core meaning of both the foreign and the domestic emoluments clauses to say, if you give up your financial nexus and relationship to the American people, oh, well, then it's just fine to go on some other government's payroll. That's absurd. That is ridiculous. Only Donald Trump and his family could come up with an argument that ridiculous.
But I give away my presidential salary. They say that no other president has done it. I'm surprised, to be honest with you. They actually say that George Washington may have been the only other president to do it. But see whether or not Obama gave up his salary. See whether or not all of the other of your favorites give up their salary. The answer is no.
Well, what about the other argument? This one seems to have more surface plausibility, right? They're saying it's okay not to go to Congress to ask for its consent. It's okay to pocket all of this money from China and Saudi Arabia and Indonesia and Egypt and India and so on, so long as the president returns the profits to the U.S. government. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, let's start with this. Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8 doesn't say shall not accept the profits from any payment or present. It says it shall not accept any present or emolument, payment of any kind, whatever, which is very categorical, strong language in the Constitution. How do you get from that to the claim that, well, it's okay if I pocket $1 million or $1 billion from Saudi Arabia as long as I return to you the profits, however I define those, right? You know, if you're running a hotel or a golf course or a restaurant or whatever, you already have to be spending money for the basic costs of running it, people's salaries and upkeep of the greens and so on. So in some sense, all of the money that comes in is going to be profit, is going to be gravy to you. In any event, that's not what the Constitution says. And I will go even further, because what Donald Trump was doing was saying, I'm going to invent this new rule this exception to Article 1, Section 9, Clause 8, and I am going to implement it myself. I will judge for myself what is profit, and you can imagine how Donald Trump calculates what the profit is in that case. And then, having judged it for myself, I will just freely decide to write a check of some amount and then call it even. That's not what the Constitution says. That's never the way it's been interpreted by anybody. And so it just cracks me up that I've got colleagues who, when we start talking about the Foreign Emoluments Clause, will immediately go to saying, well, Donald Trump, he's written several checks to the Treasury returning the profits. That just gives the game away. That just shows he's accepting millions and millions of dollars that he can't be accepting and then taking some percentage of it. Knowing Donald Trump, I would guess it's probably in the 1% to 2% range. But even if it were in the 5 or 6% range, where does that come from? Where does that doctrine derive from? Did the stork bring it? Because it's not in the Constitution. It's not in the precedent or the history, the structure of the Constitution, and it doesn't make any sense. It completely violates common sense. So I hope that we've succeeded in exploding this fallacy that it's totally okay for Donald Trump to be taking millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars for that matter from foreign governments, from foreign taxpayers, from foreign tyrants, kings, princes, just so long as he doesn't take money from the American people and just so long as he decides to voluntarily write occasional checks and call those the profits from the payments he's illegally pocketing. That's what you need to know about this fallacy, and that's what you need to know about the Emoluments Clause.
All right, so I have questions for you, but first, we're doing this series, just so that viewers know, we're doing this series to benefit an amazing organization called Democracy Summer. Congressman, what is Democracy Summer, and how can our viewers participate in it or support it?
Well, Democracy Summer is now nationwide. We are going to be in at least 43 or 44 states. I hope we can get to all 50 states. We organize it around members of the House or senators who want their interns and their young people working in their campaigns in the summer to participate in this nationwide program where we do seminars in the morning with historians, political scientists, political activists, elected officials to talk about the history of the struggle for democracy and voting rights in America, and then talk about the struggles that are taking place today against the gerrymandering of our federal and state districts, against voter suppression tactics, against the filibuster, against manipulation of the Electoral College, against political violence by MAGA. So basically it situates where we are today in the whole history of the struggle for strong democracy and voting rights in America. And the young people who we've recruited to our campaigns get to participate in both this academic component and in the essential political component of going out, knocking on doors, engaging in canvassing, voter registration, and all of the political projects we need. So in my case, Democracy Summer is my entire campaign. I'm not spending any money on TV, on radio, on pollsters, on consultants, any of that stuff for propaganda. We put it into education. And, you know, to my mind, Brian, politics at its best is just about education. Educating people about our Constitution, about the rule of law, about our history, and educating people about the issues and what we need to do in order to address them and solve them today.
Well, excellent. We'll put the link to Democracy Summer right here on the screen, so if you want to support Jamie Raskin and his operation, please make sure to follow that link. Okay, so let's get into the Emoluments Clause here. We see this clause, again, located in the Constitution. How is there no enforcement mechanism for a provision that is found, again, in the Constitution, in the law of the land?
Well, if you go back and you read the Federalist Papers, there is definitely mention of impeachment being the enforcement mechanism if anybody were to engage in the outrageous, egregious violation of basic precepts of the Constitution in its way. Check out Federalist number 65. You will see people talking about it. Edmund Randolph from Virginia, who was a delegate to the Constitutional Convention, raised impeachment as a corrective to presidents who would be so lawless as to go on the payroll of foreign governments. We need a legislative machinery under the Emoluments Clause. It's sad to say because, again, from Lincoln to Obama, and everybody in between, whenever somebody has been given a pair of cufflinks or, some kind of trinket from a foreign government, they've reported it and they've turned it over. It's not been a problem, not until we got into Donald Trump. And now we're talking about a guy who says, no, I don't want money from the American people. I'll be plundering millions of dollars through association with foreign governments. By the way, in the report done by the Oversight Committee Democrats, we were only able to look at 4 of Donald Trump's more than 500 businesses. So the nearly $8 million we found was for just 4 businesses, and it was just for 20 countries. And we know that there were somewhere over 100 countries where business potentially was being done in terms of the hotels, golf courses, and other kinds of business deals. So even the nearly 8 million we found just scratches the surface. And we engaged in the rather charitable assumption here that we were just going to look at the 4 years of Trump's term and not look at, for example, the $2 billion plus payment that Jared Kushner brought back after his time served as a Middle East envoy, where he basically was able to curry favor with Saudi Arabia and give them whatever they wanted, including a total cover-up of the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, the Washington Post freelance journalist from Saudi Arabia who was drawn and quartered and assassinated by the homicidal Crown Prince's Secret Service and security team. So we didn't even get into that, and we didn't even look at anybody in the family like Jared Kushner, except for the president himself. Although clearly Jared Kushner is somebody who is occupying an office of profit or trust. So the Democrats have put forward legislation to create a legislative machinery under the Emoluments Clause in order to enforce it, with real criminal and civil penalties for presidents who pocket money, whether they describe it as a gift or a commercial purchase or a commercial contract from kings, princes, and foreign states without going to Congress first to obtain the consent of Congress. If you really think it's okay, then go to Congress and explain why it's okay. If you really think it's all right, and you think it's okay to keep 90% of it or 95% of it, and then return 5% to the government in what you determine are profits, come to Congress and explain. And if you don't do that, then you can be civilly and criminally prosecuted for it, and there will be consequences.
And the irony of this is I presume that Republicans won't vote for this in deference to Trump, and yet at the same time, they're running these sham investigations about Joe and Hunter Biden doing what they say this legislation would actually fix. And so that's the whole irony of all of this, is that in their interminable effort to protect Donald Trump and his pilfering of foreign governments to take these emoluments, that the thing that they're trying to prosecute Joe Biden for without any evidence, this would actually fix that.
No, you got it, Brian. And in fact, these two approaches are going to collide over the next few weeks in Congress, because the Republicans are now saying that, well, they have obviously given up on impeachment. They don't have the votes because they don't have the evidence. And then they were talking about, maybe they would try to run some motions against some people, including Attorney General Garland. Maybe that still happens. But they're floundering around looking for something to do. And what they seem to have settled on now is a reporting
come here, no, come
which
here.
would say that a president must report the last 2 years of business activity of his or her own businesses and his or her immediate family members, okay? Several problems with this. Number one, it doesn't apply to candidates. I mean, the only thing it would really be useful for is if we could look at candidates, what their business activities have done. But of course, they don't want it to apply to Donald Trump now.
Right.
And at this point, he's a former president. So it wouldn't apply to him until he got in, God forbid. And of course, at that point, he would completely disobey it, and the Republicans would never do anything to make him do it. In any event, all of it is just a reporting bill. It doesn't put any muscle behind the emoluments clause, which is what we need now, because Donald Trump has laid down the gauntlet and showed that the Putin-Orban-Xi model of being a chief of state has now come to the United States. You can go in with money-making purposes. You can convert the presidency of the United States into an instrument of self-enrichment and private profit. And we've got to turn that around immediately. We've got to rebuild the little wall of separation that the founders created between the personal finances of the president and foreign government money. And so that's what we're trying to do by saying,
what's going on, folks? It's your Big Brother Trey. Tuning in to another exclusive video.
Try to stay out of sight.
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. As y'all can see, I got my tank top on today. I mean, it's humid outside for the first time. It's humid. It rained 2 days ago, and we've been feeling humidity ever since here in Arizona. So it's actually a little bit of moisturization in the air and stuff. It's still not enough. I'm still focused on. You already know where I'm going. But I want to talk about this topic because like I said, I don't want to keep talking about stuff that's negative, but I don't think it's negative. I think it's awareness. And I think that the more we make people aware, the more people can start to